Hi guys, I'm Belicious247 and welcome to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well today. Welcome, welcome. So today I would like to talk to you about a palette that I have been loving so far. It's been good to me, so I figured I'd share it with you guys, just in case you guys have seen the palette and you were interested in picking it up, but you weren't quite sure how it performed or how it looks on the eyes and the face. Well, it's like an eyeshadow palette and a cheek palette. So it's an eye and cheek palette. I guess some people would call it a face palette because it's got eyeshadows and blushes in it. It doesn't quite have a highlighter. It has a highlight color for like the eyes, but I guess you could use it as a cheek highlight if you would like as well. But for me, I would use a different highlighter on my cheeks. But anywho, to cut down the suspense and get right to it, because you guys want to know what I'm talking about, right?
Just in case
is the Stila Perfect Me Perfect Hue palette. And this is in the shade Tan Deep. I do believe that Stila has 4 different shades available, and each shade has like a different color scheme. As you can see back here, this color scheme has like some oranges, peaches, and like maroon type colors. So it's very fall appropriate. But Stila does have 4 different shades of these. There is a fair light, there's a light medium, there's a medium tan, and then there's a tan deep. This is a tan deep that I have. Don't quote me on those. I'll go ahead and check on what the names are and just, include them in the description box below so you guys can check it out. I do believe that they have it available on the Stila website as well as Ulta. I got mine from Ulta. I don't know if Sephora has it, but again, I'll include the links below if you're interested in picking this up. I'll include the link in the description so that you can click into it. But anywho, enough of all the chit chat, and let's get to the palette, shall we? So this is the outer box that it comes in. Okay, and on the back it has some writing. Okay, it's a gold box. Kind of similar to the packaging of the palette itself, which is like a hard, substantial plastic, so it doesn't feel flimsy at all. It has like a nice weight to it, and it's a magnetic closure. So the packaging is pretty nice on this. It has a leopard, like a gold leopard print on the front of this. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I'm going to try to, hopefully you can see that, what that looks like. So it's pretty nice on the top covering here. And you're seeing the back. It's pretty much color coded here on the back. And so the pricing on this is $39. I do think it's worth the cost, and we'll get into that in a little bit. I'll tell you why I think it's worth it, but I do think it's worth it. I did happen to pick mine up during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, so I got it for 50% off. But I would pay $39 for this because I think it's a good value. So let's get into the inside of the palette. This is what it looks like. Okay. Again, mirror. I'm gonna cover the mirror so it doesn't blind you, but let me see. Okay. So it looks a little bit clearer. All right. So here we've got the base color, which is called Imaginative. Next to that, the top one here is the highlight color, which is called Brilliant. The one right beneath that here is called Adventurous, and that would be the lid color. this over here, which is like a maroon brown type color, is called Flirty, and that would be your crease color. And then here, this is a black color called Mesmerizing, and this will be a liner color, or you could use it to deepen your outer crease, your outer V color. So down here you have two blushes. This one here is called Witty, and it's like a peach blush. And over here on this side, you've got Vibrant, which is more of like a deep mauve, like a deep reddish mauve type blush. Very pretty. Let me just go ahead and show you both palettes side to side so you can see what I'm talking about. They are somewhat similar. Let me see, I've got to try to cover this mirror here somehow so it doesn't blind you guys. Shoot. Alright. Let's try to work this in somehow. See if this works this way. And then the mirror still blinds you guys. Excuse me as I try to work out my technical difficulties here. Okay, so I hope you guys can see the colors. There are some similarities in the colors. The blushes, that peach blush in the Stila palette, as well as the peach blush from the Hrush palette. Difference is that the blush in the Hrush palette is lighter. You know, some of the other colors there, the light peach, in both palettes, you know, just the difference being that the light peach one color in the Styled by Hrush palette here at the bottom is lighter than the light peach color in the Stila palette. So on the whole, the colors are pretty similar in both palettes. This one's just darker, more pigmented than the Styled by Hrush palette. Okay, so I will go ahead and show you guys swatches so that you can see what I mean. Swatches. So this one, on this hand, I have the Stila Perfect Me Perfect Hue palette in the Tan Deep. So you can see all of the colors here swatched so beautifully. You know, you can see all of the eyeshadows, nothing chalky there. Everything seems to swatch very beautifully. You can see both two shimmers there, and then 1, 2, 3 are mattes. And then on the bottom, you've got both blushes in the palette. So this is the peach one, and this is the darker maroon color blush. So if you can see, all of the colors are very pigmented and they swatch very well on me. On this hand, I swatched the Styled by Hrush palette. Excuse the swatches on this hand, because this one looks a lot nicer because I'm right-handed and I swatch all of these with my right hand. This one looks a little bizarre, but that's because I swatched them all with my left hand. So excuse the swatches, but you can see the colors here. There's 1, 2, 3 shimmers. Wait, is this a shimmer? No, this is a matte. So there's 1, 2, 3 shimmers, and then 1, 2, 3 mattes. So 3 shimmers, 3 mattes in the eyeshadows. So if you can see, there are 5 eyeshadows in the Stila palette, and then 6 in the Styled by Hrush palette. Okay? And then on the bottom here is the peach blush from the Styled by Hrush palette on me. Again, these colors, I had to kind of swatch them over and over and just pile on the colors to get them to show on me this vividly. So I mean, you can see, you can get it to work. It's a very beautiful palette, but I just feel that for my skin tone, or for anyone who loves more pigment, I think the Stila one would be better. I mean, I do know people that I know a lot of people that love pigment in their palettes, in their eyeshadow and blushes. So, you know, they would love this palette. But then I also know people who don't like that much pigment in their eyeshadow colors. Or if you're like, you know, like much lighter than I am, this will work for you. I'd say maybe at least 2 shades lighter than I am. This will probably work for you. Or just people who prefer to have less pigment in their eyeshadows and blushes, and they probably prefer to build up the color so that they don't go overboard with application. This would work for you as well. Okay, so they're actually very beautiful and quite comparable to each other. Let me just hold them up side by side. So at the top, you've got the, let me see if I can kind of hold up both hands side by side so that you can see. Okay, so at the top you have the Stila palette, and then at the bottom you have the Styled by Hrush. As you can see, the colors are very comparable. Here, this is like the darker maroon brown, and this is like the darker brown in the Styled by Hrush palette. Quite comparable. And so this lighter, like champagne-y highlight color from the Stila palette is quite comparable to this lighter champagne-y color in the Styled by Hrush palette. This more peachy highlight color is comparable to, well, actually that one doesn't necessarily have a color that's comparable. I would say this one, but this is darker than this color. So, yeah, I guess it could work, right? Could be similar. So this is just a lighter version of this. The peach color here is also comparable to this peach color, where right here, I don't know if you can see it because I did an awkward knuckle swatch here. But this is comparable to this, and again, this is just a tad bit darker. Here, here's a black in the Stila palette. There is no black in this Styled by Hrush palette. So, you know, that would be a difference right there. In terms of this berry type color in the Styled by Hrush palette, there is no berry type color in the eyeshadows in the Stila palette. However, this darker blush palette, like the berry maroon type reddish brown type color here, could be somewhat comparable to the berry color. I mean, the berry color in the Styled by Hrush palette here is a shimmer. This one's a matte. But I guess, you know, if you're going for a similar color scheme, if you want to go for a similar color scheme in both, this could work. And then, of course, the peach blushes are similar, this one being lighter than this one. So they are quite comparable at the end of the day. I think they're both great palettes. Quality-wise, you've got the Tarte quality here that we've come to know and love, and you know that's very, very present in this palette. And also here for the Stila always has great quality as well, and you can also see that reflected in this palette. So either palette is a win for me. You just kind of need to figure out which one works better for you. Of course, the Stila one, more pigment, a bit darker than the Styled by Hrush. The Styled by Hrush could be for people much lighter than my skin tone, or people who enjoy lesser pigment in their shadows and blushes. Okay? Again, price-wise, I know I mentioned the price for the Stila one being $39, but the Styled by Hrush palette is $30. I did see it on I've seen it on the Tarte website, and I've also seen this on the Ulta website. Not sure if Sephora is carrying it. Again, I'll look into that and I'll link it down below once I find out that information for sure. And just to talk a little bit more about the Styled by Hrush palette, this is the outer box. You can see it kind of matches the front of the palette. The front of the box kind of matches the front of the palette, except the front of the palette has a faux crocodile type pattern. Very nice. The back of the palette is, lining you guys, is a gold, like a shiny gold, regular gold exterior that Tarte usually has on their palettes. And the outer box, again, gold with Hrush's picture here, and all of the writing with the ingredients and everything on the back. So I think it's a very nice palette to pick up. Okay, so that was my review and my spiel for the day today. I'm so happy that you tuned in and got to listen to my palette rant for the day. If you enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe at the bottom, and I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Thank you all. Stay blessed. Have a great day, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye-bye.